Hello, good morning, good afternoon, welcome. I'm very pleased to be joined by Sarah Wilkin. Sarah is the founder and CEO of the Fly Green Alliance. Welcome, Sarah. How are you doing?
Nice to be here today. Nice to be on the call today. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, very well.
So you're going to be speaking at the Sustainable Aviation Futures Congress, which is fast approaching us, 7th to the 9th of June in Amsterdam. Obviously, the Fly Green Alliance is been working in this area, doing a lot of work. So maybe for people that aren't aware, could you give us maybe some of the background, both to yourself and the alliance and where it came from and some of the work that you've been doing?
Yeah, actually, Amsterdam is good for us as we are based in Amsterdam. So
Yeah.
this is our headquarters. And you may know from Sky Energy and Nesta are also based in Amsterdam. So yeah, it's a good spot for sustainable aviation. So yeah, and actually we originated because back in 2018, we were put in touch with Booking.com, who also has the headquarters in Amsterdam. And we were, because we were starting to do some research into turning waste into aviation fuel in the end. And Booking.com were interested in the project. They thought it was the future of sustainable travel. And long story short, but towards the end of 2018, we gained a grant to work on the R&D. So that was a big change for me. I was actually working in digital side and more the marketing and comms side of things, and things have come together from that point. And we've evolved into what I would say now as an innovation consultancy and working across the board in mobility. Our name is Fly Green Alliance, so that's our original key piece of work for SAF and to ensure that a group came together to accelerate production and use and awareness. But then since the last few years, we've evolved and we're doing a lot of energy transition work and with sports and the business travel sector as well.
Excellent. And in terms of, I mean, we're seeing, gathering momentum. Obviously, you've been in the area now for 5 years. It's a long time, and we remember back in the day in the setting up of Sky Energy, and it was actually sort of spinning out, I think, of KLM Air France and some of the people there. We used to run again in Amsterdam and indeed Rotterdam, sort of the World Biomarkets Congress. So how are you seeing the last sort of 5 years, building up, and obviously we're seeing now hopefully finally some compliance legislation coming in, which is hopefully going to really accelerate the market. And what are your thoughts around some of the trend and development?
Yeah, I think we are very pleased because when we first started our work, me specifically, it was almost impossible. I literally thought that was it. I was going to fail. The grant would run out and I'd have to go back to my previous work and things like that. So, but essentially, it became a real, a very strong interest, and I was determined that we would get more attention for SAF. So 2019 was all about going to Brussels and policy and learning and meeting and people and understanding really how things work and how you can really get things moving. As you mentioned, compliance and Refuel EU has just been, it's legislated. So it's now become law. And obviously 5 years ago, that seemed like a very far away possibility. There was EU flight path a few years ago, and although the team worked so hard, it just wasn't, the building blocks weren't in place, and it's just, things have really happened. Obviously the pandemic happened, grounding of aviation, and it obviously globally it meant a kind of reset and reframe of everything. So that has really accelerated the SAF work. Everybody was determined to kind of keep the work going, and that actually this was the tipping point. So it's been great to see it evolve, and now we're firmly seen and embedded and doing the work as of course we're very respectful of Sky Energy and KLM and BA, who were some of the original folk in the group. So yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned innovation as part of your work, and clearly, I guess, we're just at the beginning, as it were, in terms of the pathway to sort of real decarbonisation of the aviation sector. So there's still huge amounts to do, clearly, specifically around, I guess, providing solutions and trying to get the cost down. So yeah, what do you see as the sort of key challenges going forward now that we're kind of off the ground, as it were, to use a well-used pun?
Yeah, yes, obviously everybody is pleased with the way things are, but it is like just the start. Even the percentages of volumes available, even though I think I read it had doubled last year, it's still got some way to go. I think the challenges, obviously the legislation in the US, it's on its way, and incentives and things like that. So and the EU has a 1.8 billion fund to pay for the price difference, the delta in between SAF and Jet A. So kind of the policy and mechanisms are in place, but it doesn't actually necessarily mean that everybody is knowing about it still. Everybody is wanting it. Like, management companies or business travelers don't necessarily have it as standard. So we see the work we've been doing in education, sustainable travel policies, advocacy, business model development, product development is still very important and something we'll carry on with, because it's actually converting those policies, those kind of targets into business solutions.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you're talking about actually trying to create products that cover that green premium, provide the sustainable aviation services that are almost, I guess, virtual for customers, who can then hopefully scale the amount of money that's coming in by providing some good quality products that can help stimulate the market in terms of the demand side. I guess it's around demand side creation now.
Well, yeah, actually, and you reminded me what I should have also said. Of course, investment isn't necessarily that. It's we're still I've just been on a call about a working group in green bonds. So these are the kind of things that we are getting involved with. It's kind of, how do you get involved with the rule making, the technicalities, the reporting and things like that. These are really, of course, key to making sure it all literally happens through transactions. But then, of course, what the investors and people looking to align with ESG are looking for are security, compliance, as you mentioned, and all the things that basically make it less risky for investors. So we're doing kind of all these pieces of work as well. And then it's both sides, I guess. It's like you said, the demand side, and then the investment side, and hoping they balance out in supply and demand in the end.
Yeah, you mentioned a good point actually when you mentioned the word risk, and I guess for investors, clearly investing money, there is risk, and I guess there's potentially is there a fraud risk or risk of reputation? I'm thinking now also maybe of some of the cloudy work around some of the offset side and how we can make sure that SAF is bona fide, and is there any concerns you have about that, and making sure that that everything is good quality?
Yeah, I think that's always going to be a risk, and as we've discovered from the offset discoveries, I guess, some then that definitely is part of it. But that is definitely why RSB have worked on the book and claim system to support transparency.
RSB is, for people who don't know, is the Roundtable for Sustainable Biofuels.
Yeah, exactly. So they are an NGO who've classically worked in certification. So if a SAF was certified from a sustainability point of view, they would either go through ISCC or RSB. So it's we're making sure that these kind of policy level and voluntary rule making mechanisms are in place. And but yeah, it is definitely a risk. Obviously, you need to make sure that feedstocks are meeting the standards. Also, they're not taken away from communities. There's a lot of principles that can be followed. They can, of course, follow the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. I think there's a lot of work going on to make sure that it doesn't happen, but of course, it can happen, and that is what people are looking to safeguard against. I know the airline industry for sure is very obviously making sure strongly that they are complying with the certification rules and standards, because it's not worth. I mean, you don't want to put yourself within those risks. So for sure, it's an issue, but I do think there's a lot of people working hard on it.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, yeah, the hard work, I guess, is just beginning, and certainly, we look forward to seeing the work of the FGA and the Fly Green Alliance and helping your clients build. And in terms of the membership, if people want to get involved with the FGA, what is some of the work you're doing, and what sort of members do you have or looking to have?
Yeah, we are. Our name is Fly Green Alliance. So for a few years, people have said, "Who are your members?" And actually, it was kind of a name at first. We thought it was important to bring a group together, but now we've been around for three a bit years. Then we think we've got a good established amount of work. And we've just this year setting up as a membership. So we've got a couple. I probably won't say any names for now, but we've got a few that we've already worked with who are interested in, because we are working solutions and we do industry level work, and as I mentioned before, working groups and innovation. So we're doing a lot of work that maybe it's work that isn't consultancy. So we think it's important to set ourselves up and gain members to be able to do that work. And then we are consultants, so we work with the sports sector, we've worked with the business travel sector, with travel management companies. I've just been the judge on the Business Travel Sustainability Awards. Next week I'll be moderator at the Economist SAF panel for the Washington DC event. So there's different things we're doing. Yeah, absolutely feel free to contact us about membership. As I said, we're doing a lot of different work. It's step by step, and some of it is getting into the weeds, as they say. But that's what I think we need to do and what we can focus on. My background is digital, so I'm always trying to digitalize everything and align things. So we were happy with the level of contribution we've had. We've also applied for the High Five Trailblazer Award, so hopefully maybe we'll be shortlisted. We'll see. But lots of things going on, and happy to speak to everybody about the SAF journey.
Yeah, excellent. Well, as I said, you're going to be at the SAF Congress, 7th to 9th in your hometown, as it were, Amsterdam. So we look forward to seeing you there, and seeing the conversations move on, and seeing actual projects start to get off the ground, seeing SAF become more and more popular and more part of the everyday aviation story. So many thanks, Sarah.
Thank you very much, and see you there.
See you there. Cheers. Take care.